Hey everybody, welcome to another amazing After Effects CS6 video tutorial. This is Buddy Blackford on the new Boston, and today we're going to go over compositions, how to make a composition, and talk a little bit about composition settings. So it's going to be awesome. We have to, when you start out learning a program, you have to learn like the basics, and sometimes they're not all that awesome, but to really use a program you don't want to start in the middle and then you don't know how to figure out how to do the basic things. I'm saying this from experience. I started out trying to make awesome things at first, realized I didn't really know how to use the program and couldn't really follow what was going on. So it's great to start out and learn from the beginning, not just jump in. You wouldn't want to jump into a video game in the middle of the video game. So, and it's just an example, no more lecture, whatever. So we'll start off by I'll show you how to create a new composition. Go up here to composition, and a composition is basically like a big group that's going to contain your footage, your layers, and everything. You are able to apply effects to compositions, and you can apply effects to the composition elements like the layers and the solids and stuff like that. So you can go to composition, new composition. The hotkey is Control N, and this will pop up. You have the basic tab here, and then you have the advanced tab. I almost never use the advanced tab. I actually haven't ever used it. So, but we'll cover the advanced tab at another point in time, in case you ever need to. Right now, most of the time, everybody is going to want you to use either this HDTV preset or another HDTV like a 720p. But I always stick with HDTV 1080. Because you can always cut the resolution in half to get 720p. Anytime you try to up the resolution, it's gonna look blurry and crappy. So anytime you start out at the top, you can always cut down and it'll still look fine. Trying to go up is bad. There's also a couple resolutions or presets that are getting a little bit outdated. The NTSC, which is about 480, and that's basically like your old tube TVs used to have NTSC, or maybe your local news channel where like the video quality on it isn't that good. That's probably NTSC. It's not HD. There's also actually the NTSC is used in the Americas mostly, and I think like Brazil doesn't use it. Maybe they're changing into it. I don't know. I don't live in Brazil, but I do have a friend that lives in Brazil, and he's pretty good at what he does. NTSC stands for National Television System Committee. Just a fun fact. No one will ever ask you that, and you don't even really need to know it. It's just something to throw out there. PAL is what they used to use in mainly like Europe and Asia and Africa. It's 560i. And that's basically fading out also. So basically, I would stick with HDTV. Maybe later on, if you ever work at like a film studio, where like say you're gonna work on like Avengers or something like that, Avengers 2, it might be in 2K. Like I said, they actually like to shoot their video in high resolution because they can always downgrade it later. So preset 1080, 29.97. Actually, we'll go with 24 because most HDTV is 24 now, and that always seems to work. That's also less frames that you need to work with. So stick with HDTV 1080 24 for now. Keep this at square pixels. It's the gives you the 16.9 aspect ratio, which is what you always really want. And anytime you don't want to use a preset, you can also manually type in these. So someone has a wacky like 985 or something like that. If someone has like a wacky custom maybe you need to make like a banner on the side of a website, and it's got different dimensions on it, a different resolution. You can add in your own custom, but there is a web banner, but I mean, they're not always going to be the same. So let's go back to this preset. Here's where the frame rate, you want to keep frame rates either at 24 or 29.97 in the US. Full resolution, that's what you want to start out with. If you half it, it's just gonna bring it in half or whatever. You really don't want to do that. I always start with about 30 seconds. You can always change this later, but just to have something on your table that's not like way too much. If you put in like 30 minutes, your timeline is going to be really huge, and you're going to have to go through everything and zoom in and everything like that. So I just keep it small unless I like know what's going on. I always like to keep the background color black, but I mean, you can do whatever feels better on your eyes. So you always want to name it. So I'll name this one New Boston Rules. Maybe I should spell it right. And that creates this is your comp. It's kind of like your canvas. You can, let's drag this into our comps folder. We'll open it up just so we can look. Say you created your composition and you did something wrong. You put in the wrong name. Well, you can change the name on there. If you put in the wrong resolution, you can go to composition settings, and you can fix it. So that's easy enough. Okay, and let's throw something on there. Got this image again. You can just take it and drag it over, and it puts it within the composition. So I mean, you would want something to fill the background, so we'll just throw something in there as a background, because when you render this out, it's just going to be all black. Just throw this in there for now. Put this picture on top in the layers, and you can see that the composition holds these different effects. So let's throw an effect in there. We'll throw a blur. It's the easiest one to throw in there. Where's the fast blur? We'll put it on Bucky here. Move this back to where it's supposed to be. And let's blur him. Yep. This is just messing around. So use this panel on the top, or this slider on the top here. You can get back to your project panel. So there's that. I'm going to take the blur off because it's annoying me. So we'll go back to the effect. But I just wanted to show you how I get to put effects on things within a composition. You can also bring up the composition itself and put different effects on that if you throw the composition within another composition. So that stuff will become more clear once we do more projects. Just keep that in the back of your mind. Another way to make a composition, and this is my favorite way, if I know that I'm going to be working on video footage, I'll have the video already made from the camera, and you can take it and bring it in over top on this button right here, down here, and it will create your composition with the same aspect ratio and same resolution that you have on the video. So this is a video I made a while ago, and basically just something we made for the company I used to work for. And those are the two ways you can make your composition. In the next tutorial, we'll be talking a little bit more about the composition panel and what these buttons down here mean, and anything else that I can think of. Alright, well, thanks for watching this one. Have a good one.